Finance MEC has admitted to meeting the Gupta brothers on several occasions to discuss, among other things, the New Age subscription and the Vrede Dairy farm. Elizabeth Rockman is giving testimony at the State Capture Commission of Inquiry in Johannesburg. Rockman has told the commission that she met the Gupta brothers on more than 2 occasions while she was the Director General in then Premier Ace Magashule's office. She also testified that Magashule had set up one of the meetings in 2011 during a provincial EXCO meeting where she met one of the Gupta brothers. Rockman is giving testimony on the controversial Vrede Dairy farm project, which saw over 200 million rand worth of taxpayers' money being channeled to a Gupta-linked company called Estina. Rockman has also previously been implicated by 2 witnesses before the commission. In August, a former municipal manager of Premier municipality accused Rockman of having asked him to meet delegates from India who wanted to invest in the project. Rockman has told the commission of how the Gupta brothers scored a deal to supply government departments with 4,000 copies of their newspaper daily. Rockman has conceded to meeting the brothers, as we've said multiple times, including in their home in Saxon World. She says Rajesh, Tony Gupta, also questioned her late payments on the Vrede Dairy farm project. Let's get more on the story now. Reporter Manqoba Mchunu is standing by for us in Parktown. Very good afternoon to you, Manqoba. Again, the issue of Estina Dairy Farm coming up. Give us more context on that.
Well, certainly, Zing, I think we're hearing more details on the Gupta involvement in the Dairy Estina project. Of course, we do know that before we have been reporting that, the Gupta's linked company Estina had benefited from this company. But I think we're hearing of their direct involvement from the testimony of Elsabi Rockman, who says that she had met one of the Gupta brothers, Tony Gupta, on several occasions, 4 or 5 times, she puts it, at the Gupta residence in Saxon World, where they discussed issues relating to the Estina Dairy Farm project. You recall that previously there have been testimony from a businessman in Vrede, who said that he had met the Gupta family at the farm in 2012. But of course, he says the Gupta brothers, or the Gupta family that he had met at the time, were Gupta relatives from India. He specifically said that they were not the Gupta brothers that he had seen on the newspapers, on television. But I think interestingly, coming out from Rockman's testimony is that actually Tony Rajesh Gupta had inquired about the Vrede Dairy Farm project on numerous occasions. The first one, of course, being in 2013, where she says she had met him at their home in Saxon World, where he had asked about the outstanding 84 million payment by the provincial government into the Estina Dairy Farm project. And he says, of course, at the time, he had simply been asking for that payment to be made. But interestingly, we hear of their involvement in this project in particular reference. But she only didn't talk about that. She also talked about the controversial deal between the provincial government as well as the Gupta family involving the newspaper, The New Age. And of course, she says that in 2011, during an EXCO meeting in Bethal, the then Premier Ace Magashule had called her into a meeting with one of the Gupta brothers. She couldn't say who that Gupta brother was, but she says that she was in fact called into that meeting, and it was arranged by the former Free State Premier, who had left when that meeting began. She says that when the issue of the New Age was discussed, and the deal that was put on the table is that the Gupta brothers, or the New Age, was going to supply the provincial government, in fact all government provincial departments at the time, with about 4,000 copies of the New Age daily. And she says, of course, at the time they didn't agree on that particular matter, but she says it was later agreed when she became also the Finance MEC at the province. So she says that the deal went ahead, and she says, of course, during all of those meetings that she had held with the Gupta brothers, it was at the knowledge of the then Premier Ace Magashule.
Of course, Manqoba, we also mentioned that Elsabi herself has been implicated by previous witnesses at that inquiry. Well, how did she respond to that?
Well, we're yet to get to the testimony. I know that the evidence leader, Leah Kabashi, has indicated that she's going to deal specifically with those who have implicated her. But I do know that, of course, the previously, Phumelele municipal manager Moses Muremi had implicated her as having set up a meeting with the Indian delegation that had come to the country looking to invest into the project. And of course, we heard also that the former DA chairperson in the Free State, Roy Yankelson, had also made allegations to that effect of her involvement in this project. So she's still going to answer to those allegations. And of course, as the head of Treasury of the time, she certainly has a lot to answer with regards to how the funds were used, whether they were used efficiently, and whether there was transparency in the use of funds with regards to this project. Of course, we do know that there were many things that were wrong with the project. There were many red flags that were raised with, certainly the agreements that were made there being agreements that, were out of the norms of the normal PFMFA agreements. And of course, also the issue of some of them being signed without going through state lawyers. So those are some of the issues that you'll have to answer to with regards to Treasury's involvement and why they had approved this controversial project.
Manqoba Mchunu giving us an update of what's happening at the state capture inquiry. As always, he's following that story and will continue to keep us updated as more information came in. Those are your news headlines.